Andrew Bird is a singer, songwriter, and multi-instrumentalist, but particularly with a focus on the violin, and he is known for his use of effects and looping on his violin. He's from Illinois in the United States. He released his first solo album in 1996, after which he joined a band called The Bowl of Fire. He has in total released 18 albums. He has embraced various styles, including folk, rock, and swing. In 2012, he had a side project, which was an old-timey band, which is an old kind of form of Americano kind of thing with square dancers and kind of traditional music like that, called The Hands of Glory.
Hi, my name's Dan, and this is a review of Andrew Bird and the Mysterious Production of Eggs, which was an album released in 2005 by Andrew Bird. And it is a request review, so it was requested by a YouTube user with the name Digital Audio Directions 1443. So most of the reviews on this channel is all about album reviews, mini album reviews, are of the 3,000 greatest albums of all time, according to a list which has been created by amalgamating scores from lots of critic lists at a website called Acclaim Music. It's a great list, and I looked at it once a few years ago and thought, I really like to review all those albums. That's quite a lot. So I'm just a bit over a third of the way through, sometime heading towards a half of the way through sometime in the next few months. But occasionally I step off that list, and one of those reasons to do that is to do request reviews. If you want to request a review, it's really easy. All you need to do is leave a comment on any one of my videos on the channel. Now, YouTube fairly recently have changed the way that they notify creators about comments on their videos. So it is more likely now that I'm going to miss a comment than it used to be in the past. I don't know how often, well, because how would I know how often it happens? So if you leave a comment, and if I haven't replied within a couple of days to acknowledge your request, then try again. I won't get annoyed, just try again. And the other thing I should say is I never absolutely promise I'm going to do a request review. There's been 2 or 3 in the past that I have not done, and there's been at least one where I didn't want to say the reason why I was not going to do it. So but I will tell. Will I tell you? I will tell you if it goes on the list, and I might just quietly ignore it. But then it should come out in a little while. It takes me a little while to get around to them. After all that business, let's now get on with this review. So this is, as I said, the Mysterious Production of Eggs, and it's the third solo studio album by Andrew Bird, and it's actually my second time doing an Andrew Bird review because there was one on the list earlier. And Wikipedia says that this is baroque pop, indie folk. I'm more inclined to label it as singer-songwriter. Well, maybe that's a little bit lazy, but let's dig into some description of what it actually is. So it's mixed music, but it's not metal, obviously, and it's not country either. And it's got guitars, but lots of other sounds and instruments. There's quite a strong presence of violin, which is probably where Wikipedia's baroque pop label comes from. I'd say it ranges from fairly light end of rock to kind of medium weight, and then kind of folky elements of that in maybe. It's nicely done music wise. It's not complex, but it is nice. I enjoyed listening to it, and it's got a lightness and a whimsy to it that I find quite attractive. He's got a nice voice, Andrew Bird, and it reminds me a little of Rufus Wainwright. So if you don't know Rufus Wainwright, that's not going to mean anything to you, but if you do, then maybe it will. But he doesn't sing quite the same, but he's got a similar style in some ways. He's less kind of full-on musical theatre feel as Rufus Wainwright, but he's also got that kind of richness to the music that's going on that just has variety and interest going on. I'm also going to mention other comparison references here. Bill Callahan, Father John Mystery, and Iron and Wine. But there's, as I've said several times, there's a rich vein of singer-songwriter going on. Well, when this was 20 years ago, but that's been around, particularly in the American world, but in other places as well. And it was one of the things that's been a delight to discover through doing these reviews. Obviously, one of the reasons for doing them for me was to discover a whole lot of music that I've never encountered before. And there's a whole lot of stuff in there that I kind of feel like, yeah, all right, well, I've discovered it, and I'm not sure I'm that bothered. But there are other stuff where I got quite pleased to have discovered it, and that this area of singer-songwriter, in my head, singer-songwriter was very much a kind of 70s thing, maybe late 60s as well. And then I felt like it kind of died, but it's back. So excellent. Yeah, well done, America, for doing that. So there's engaging songs about eclectic things, not really about love. There's some melancholy and some whimsy, and there's an almost kind of cartoon fantasy world that is inhabiting. Again, it's engaging. It's a bit like a box of juicy chocolates. I really enjoyed it. I had, when I listened to it, I had forgotten my previous Andrew Bird review, which was of the album Armchair Apocrypha, which was nearly 2 years ago. I gave that an 8.3, giving this 8.4, slightly better. And with these situations, I often ask myself, how sure am I about my consistency with scoring? Well, I don't know, but I try to be. But it's certainly on the same kind of level as that previous album. So, scroll back up, digital audio directions 1443, whoever you are. Thank you so much for introducing me to this album, because I enjoyed it, and here's my review of it, and I hope you enjoyed it. I'd love to hear from anybody else who has an opinion on this album. Let me know what you think by leaving me a comment down in the comments box. But that's it from me for now.
Overprescribed under the mister, we had survived to turn on the history channel and ask our esteemed panel, why are we alive? And here's how they reply.